Cool and cloudy here in Soto, but the roof is open. Happy Jackie Robinson Day as the Mariners play host once again to the Oakland Athletics, and a chance today for a series sweep against the A's behind the King. Felix Hernandez up on the mound today, a man who has dominated the Oakland A's over the course of his major league career. Looking for more of the same here this afternoon, opposed by lefty Sean Manaea. Felix up on the mound, warmed up and ready to go. We welcome you to Mariners baseball on Root Sports. Aaron Goldsmith, Mike Flowers, and our entire Root Sports crew on one of the great days on the sports calendar each and every year, Jackie Robinson Day, here from Seattle. Everyone wearing number 42 as we take a look at the Oakland A's starting nine.
Marcus Semien hitting second in the lineup. Felix will have to be careful with him. 4 home runs in his career against Felix Hernandez. A lot of hot hitters in the lineup too. Jed Lowry still going strong, 3 for 4 in last night's ball game. Chris Davis, the cleanup hitter, he has 3 home runs in the first 2 games of this series. Want to be careful with him. And hitting 7th, Mark Canha, his first home run of the year last night. He had 3 RBIs to go along with the home run. For Felix, again, he has really pitched well against the A's in his career. This will be his 4th start this year, 15 innings. He has 8 strikeouts, 8 walks. Want to stay away from the walks. He was much better in his last outing as far as the walks go. Just 1 base on balls against the Royals.
Now, with the win last night, the Mariners have now won 10 of their last 11 against Oakland. They're 39-20 against the A's since the start of 2015.
For Felix this year, fastball, curve, change, slider. Fastball right around 90 miles an hour.
To the only man on the left side of the infield. Weekly dribble down to Seager. 1 down.
And for the Mariners defensively, Guillermo Heredia will get the start in left field. Ichiro getting the afternoon off. Taylor Motter at first base. And Mike Margema did not play last night. He will do the catching this afternoon.
That's my guess. 2 pitches and 1 out. Here is Marcus Semien. Semien has reached in all 14 games for the A's so far this year. He looks at strike 1.
28 at-bats in his career against Felix. A .286 hitter with 4 home runs.
Look at the numbers for Felix against the A's. 3 earned runs or fewer against Oakland in 19 of his previous 20 starts against Oakland. The Kings 0-2.
First changeup of the afternoon as Jed Lowry waits on deck again. For Lowry, he had 3 hits in last night's ball game.
Foul ball to Seager. We mentioned the numbers for Felix against the A's. There's Oakland celebrating its 50th anniversary in Oakland this year. They moved to Oakland back in 1968. Felix is climbing the ranks of all-time strikeouts against the A's. Crack to center field in front of D. Gordon. Semien aboard a 1-out single. That brings up Jed Lowry, 1 out and 1 on. But if you look at pitchers who faced the A's since moving to Oakland, all the guys with more strikeouts against the A's: Roger Clemens by 1, Bert Blyleven, and then Nolan Ryan, the all-time strikeout leader against the Oakland A's.
That's a pretty good-looking group right there. Yeah, guys that have a lot of strikeouts in their career. You mentioned it with Felix. It seemed that for a lot of years too, Felix, it seemed he would open up against the A's.
You're right.
Of course, going to see them a number of times. One of the reasons why every year we'd start the season and we have our picks over on the radio side of things, and I would take Felix right out of the gate every year. It was because he was pitching against the A's, and that game always went well for him.
Man aboard for Jed Lowry with 1 out. Semien off the bag, caught in between. And they call a balk. You can see Simeon pleading his case in the middle of that
rundown. Got service now. We'll run down and wonder what it is that he was able to do. Felix obviously saw him take a couple of steps. Now Scott wants him to talk to Kerwin Danley, the third base umpire. We'll take a look. He takes off early. I didn't see anything wrong with that. I thought maybe he didn't step off.
Umpires now huddling.
Or we're going to talk about it. Scott was out of the dugout quickly.
Felix, by the way, has not had a balk since 2012.
He argued right away, and Scott was out of the dugout immediately. So we'll see. They're going to talk about it. Takes off early. Not allowed to just spin. It looked to me as if he stepped off, and maybe they didn't think it was enough, but we'll see how it goes. Fine to me. Now they're going to send him back.
There comes Bob Melvin. Now Felix is saying, well, if he's going back to first base, why isn't he out? Right?
Well, yeah, I think they decided to call the play dead. So busy watching Felix and seeing the balk call, I'm not sure they actually finished the play either. So Bob Melvin not happy. Scott's still not happy. He's arguing too.
You know what they say, Mike? You got to play through the whistle. It's the only way you avoid these things.
Unless the umpire calls a balk and the play is dead.
I guess so.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
once he calls the balk, the play is dead. The players certainly are aware of that, and they saw it right away. We'll just do it over. How about that?
Redo. All right. So as if it never happened. 1 out, 1 on.
Official score calls it a no play.
First pitch to Jed Lowry.
And you can see they expect him to pull the ball on the infield. Towards left center in the outfield. Felix missing with his curveball. Talked a lot about Felix in spring training and started this year using his curveball more. When he first broke into the big leagues, his fastball, of course, was 95 to 97, and his best off-speed pitch was the curveball. Eventually, he found the great changeup to go along with it. I'd like to see him use the curveball a little bit more. And so far, that's been the case through his first 3 outings. Felix is able to work ahead, has command of his fastball. His curveball has been a very good pitch for him. His changeup is still his best off-speed pitch.
He's behind Lowry 3-0. Crushed to right. Haniger watching, and it's 2-0 Oakland. Jed Lowry off to a blistering hot start to begin the season. His 4th smash of the year.
It's one of the things that we talked about last night. It's typical for most clubs, but even more lopsided with the A's. And the difference between them hitting when they're ahead in the count and behind the count. This is a 3-0 fastball. They give him the green light. You take a look at our Primera Supremo and the swing as he barrels it up.
Strike 1 to Davis. Now, last night, 7 combined home runs between these two teams, 4 by the Mariners. Already a home run, 3 batters into it today. Shot to center. Gordon's got space. 2 outs. Two outs, 2 runs in. Here's Matt Olson, the first baseman for the A's. Of the numbers this year for Felix, ahead of the count and behind of the count, fairly lopsided. Ahead of the count, opponents hitting 167. Behind of the count, batting 471. Go back to that 3-0 homer.
Well, one thing, Felix, and we've talked about it with most pitchers, his fastball command is critical for him, but Felix also has the ability to throw his curveball or his slider for a strike early in counts if he's struggling a little bit with his command.
With the curve to make it 2-0.
Better location on that fastball, down and away, running it off the outside corner.
Shift on here for Olson. Felix is 2-1. Hustling, keeps his feet, slides down, makes the catch. Olson out number 3. Couple of runs in on Jed Lowry's 4th homer of the season as we celebrate Jackie Robinson Day. Mariners coming up. Support for Sean Manaea, the left-hander, former first-round draft pick of the Kansas City Royals, making already his 8th career start against the Mariners. We'll take a look at the lineup he'll face today.
Dee Gordon with a 12-game hitting streak will step in, start things off for the Mariners. 346 overall. Gene Segura, his first home run, had 3 RBIs in last night's ballgame. He's hitting 353. Kyle Seager also getting hot, 3 hits, including his 3rd home run. And Mitch Haniger leads the team with 4 home runs and 15 RBIs.
Gordon looks at a first pitch strike. Manaea, good numbers against the Mariners. 3 runs or fewer, 5 of his first 7 starts in his career against Seattle. This is to right. Piscotty now going back on it. Round number 1.
Manaea's really pitched well this year. This will be his 4th start. You can see the 1.74 ERA. In 20 2/3, he has 16 strikeouts, only 2 walks. His command has been an issue in the past. That has not been the case this year. Opponents hitting just 194 against him. His fastball right around 91 miles an hour. Slider changeup to go with it. Take a look at the defense. Mark Cannon getting the start in center field. Simeon and Lowry will play up the middle. Bruce Maxwell getting his first start of the series.
7 hits the last 4 games for Gene Segura, including the 3-run homer early in last night's game. Showing bunt, looks at ball 2. Look at the top 3 in this order. Gordon hitting .346, Segura .353, Cano just over .400. Out to left field. To Joyce. 2 outs.
Nelson Cruz back in the lineup yesterday. He will hit cleanup as the DH. He had home runs in the first 2 games. Started the year off hitting .273 overall. Limited at bat for him. Kyle Seager now hitting over .300 at .304. Mitch Haniger at .310. Haniger leading the league in RBIs.
Cano leading the majors in on-base percentage. He's walked 7 times in his last 4 games. Has had a struggle against Manaea, though, over the course of his career.
First 2 games of this series, the Mariners have scored 17 runs.
Of course, Robinson Cano, named after Jackie Robinson, with some very fashionable spikes today. 1 ball and 1 strike. The 1-1. And like you mentioned, the runs the first 2 games. We talked about the 4 homers. In years past, maybe we've been concerned if the Mariners are scoring the majority of the runs via the home run ball. Your thoughts on that so far this year?
Yeah, I mean, we saw a couple of home runs in the first game too. You know, for me, I think normally that's something for us to probably think about and maybe have some concerns with. Manaea misses with that slider, but when you consider the speed that they have at the top of their lineup with Gordon and Segura, the rate at which they're getting on base, they're getting healthier. I don't think it's going to be a real concern. I think even when and it's going to happen, they're going to go through stretches where they're not going to hit the ball out of the ballpark. Can they still score runs? And you mentioned the quality of at-bats that Robinson Cano has been having. I think that's up and down the lineup. So I think that they'll be able to hit for a higher average with runners in scoring position, but more importantly, they can manufacture runs because of their speed. And Kyle Seager, he's been hot lately. His 3rd home run in last night's ball game.
The 3-2. Another walk for Cano, his 8th in now 5 straight games. There comes Nelly with 2 outs.
And again, I think the real big part of that, they're also going to get Gamble back, who runs well, but the big part of that is at the top of the lineup.
You know, not that the Mariners are going to start playing small ball anytime soon, but we did hear Jerry talk about this in the early days of spring training, that this team will look different when you think about Gamble and then Gordon and Segura. There is a speed element to the Mariners this year that we haven't seen in recent seasons. Gets away from Maxwell, and Cano easily trots in a second.
It'll be a wild pitch.
Now Manaea ball 1 to each of the last 3 hitters now.
Nelson off the disabled list last night. Picked up a base hit. Got a base hit into right field in last night's ball game.
Like the challenges of getting your timing back for a guy like Nelson?
Fortunately for Nelson, you think of power hitters, and with him averaging 40 home runs a year, you would think that would be a bit of an issue, but I think that it's there for him. It'll take him a few days. but he's such a good hitter in general on top of hitting the ball out of the ballpark. We're talking about a guy that hits 280 or better with all that power. And he has the ability to hit the ball the other way. So he'll work his way around the field. He doesn't have to pull the ball to hit it out of the ballpark. Might take him a few days. No rehab assignment for him, but I think he'll be fine. You know, we talked about some of those things and timing and seeing the ball at the end of spring training. He said he was fine, didn't have a particularly good spring, and then he homers in the first 2 games. So I think he'll be okay.
The joys of spring training numbers. Cruz the tie-in run at the plate. Cano's out at second. Walking a wild pitch. The 1-2. Boxed by Maxwell, and Cano into third base now. A wild pitch first, now a pass ball. Lucroy getting the day off. Usual everyday catcher for the A's. Two. Now Seager waiting on deck if Cruz can reach. Nelly only 11 at bats so far this season because of the time of the DL. Now the payoff. Out to left center. That'll hang up enough for Canna in front of the track for out number 3. Cano stranded 90 feet from home, 1 inning complete. A's on top. Well, today, April the 15th, marks Jackie Robinson's historic big league debut. Robinson's courage blazed a trail for America. Join the Mariners in Major League Baseball in commemorating Jackie Robinson Day. Visit MLBcommunity.org to learn more. Well, as has been tradition, the Mariners uniforms from today, of course, everyone wearing number 42, will be auctioned off on Saturday. Home games here at the ballpark. The typical, usual Mariners Care auctions on the concourse will be individually auctioned off there, and then all the members of the Mariners signing a team uniform, a team jersey top today. And that's actually going up live on MLB.com today. Proceeds of that auction benefit the Jackie Robinson Foundation. Now Chapman leading things off for the A's in the second. Felix behind 3-1. He gets a strike across. That's happened to Chapman last night.
And that's a quality pitch. Nice fastball at the knees, right on the inside corner.
Felix is 3-2. Off the shoelaces, Kyle Seager. 1 out.
Another fastball. It was in the middle of the plate, but down. Really good movement on it. Down at the bottom of the strike zone.
A couple of turkey legs today. Oh, there it is. Father-daughter turkey leg. It would have spent the Sunday at the ballpark. Strike 1 to Cannon. Felix ahead now 0-2. Now for the A's, it was Lowry's 2-run home run, third batter of the ball game that gave Oakland an early lead. First strikeout today for Felix. And he has now tied Roger Clemens for the third most strikeouts against the Oakland A's in their history.
And for Felix, it looks like the changeup, 86 miles an hour, down out of the strike zone. A lot of movement on the changeup. By Mike Margema. Catch it cleanly. Felix changeup has still been a really good pitch for him this year. Opponents, the start of today, hitting just 083 on his changeup and hasn't given up an extra base hit with it. Another fastball on the outside corner, so working ahead here in the second inning.
He's gone 0-1 to each of the first 3 hitters here in this A's second. Next pitch to Piscotty. 0-2.
Good curveball.
Now the Mariners a chance for a series sweep today. Astros come to town tomorrow. Here comes the Kings 0-2. Piscotty last night a couple of base hits, including a home run, his first as a member of the A's. Stays alive. Now for Felix, making his 4th start of the season, pitching on his home mound for the first time since opening day. Here's 1-2. Seager's been busy so far today. Now Felix, a 1-2-3 top of the second as we make our way to the home half. We'll be seeing Kyle Seager and company. Light Rail or ST Express buses. Plan your trip by going to soundtransit.org. Jackie broke the color barrier back on this day in 1947. Seager leads it off for the Mariners. He's had the shift on for Kyle. Now has his average over 300.
Pretty good slider right there. The breeze here in the ballpark today. It looks like it's blowing from left to right. Should be some carry out to right field.
With the Seager chance going, the 0-2 misses high. And if you look at the numbers for Manaea, he has been awfully tough left on left. He's given up only one extra base hit to a left-handed hitter. That happened to be a home run to Corey Seager. The 2-2. First strikeout today for Manaea. Has not given up a hit on that pitch this season.
You can tell by his arm angle and how tall he is. It's tough to stay in there. A couple of pretty good sliders. That one's well located. That is right on the outside corner, if not just off of it. Tough to lay off of that pitch. Again, his fastball will be 91 to 93 miles an hour. But for left-handers, the arm angle will cause you some problems.
First offering to Haniger. Strike one.
We talked about his fastball. When it's behind in the count, you're in pretty good shape as a hitter. You're going to see his fastball about 70% of the time.
And play to Simeon. The bobble. In time for round number 2. Quickly 2 outs for Heredia getting the start today in left field. I don't know which one surprised me more, Mike. The fact that for Manaea, this is already his 8th start against the Mariners. Doesn't seem like he's been around that long.
Does it? No.
Or the fact that Heredia already has 12 at-bats against Manaea, a guy who doesn't play every day, but he's made the most of it. 5 for 12 lifetime against the left-hander. Showing bunt, looks at ball 1.
And for Heredia, a lot of at-bats, but already a couple of home runs this year.
Popped up on the infield. Olsen, first baseman, makes the one-hand catch. Side sat down in order. 2 innings in the books. 2-0 A's. Tomorrow for a 4-game series, our CenturyLink What's Next. James Paxton making start number 4 on the season. He'll be opposed by another left-hander, Dallas Keuchel, one-time Cy Young Award winner. Keuchel has 4.20 earned run average. His last start was not a lengthy one. He has labored a little bit recently, but still overall Dallas Keuchel one of the best in the game. Maxwell, the catcher, leads it off for the A's.
Two very good left-handers go about their business differently. Of course, James fastball 95 to 98 miles an hour. Keuchel with the great changeup.
Felix is 1-1. Manfred only 12 at bats so far this year. Seager over to give it a look, but this is out of play. 2-2.
First 3 outings for Felix, he's been able to build up his pitch count. And was hit by the line drive in spring training, so limited on the amount of times he was able to get on the mound, throw the baseball. In his last outing, 91 pitches for him, 63 strikes overall, so he's in pretty good shape.
Strike 3 call. Second punch out for the King today.
Struggled his way through the first inning with his command, but it looks like his fastball command is back. Excellent changeup today, but that fastball right on the inside corner. Started at his hip, lock him up. He didn't like the call, but it was a perfect pitch.
Here's Matt Joyce for the second time, leadoff hitter. Grounded out to third base. 0-1. Like when you think about facing a guy, really you can look at the different forms of Felix, but a pitcher who, let's say, throws 96, 97, but is erratic with his command, versus a guy who's throwing 90 miles an hour, who can absolutely pinpoint everything he wants. I have a feeling most guys would rather face 97 and have one run into the strike zone here and there.
Especially in today's game, because they're used to seeing that type of velocity. It's not a problem for them. I think hitters, even hitters at this level, they're all terrific, but most of them will make their living hitting mistakes. And if you're 96 miles an hour, yes, that's a good fastball, and you could probably get away with those mistakes a little bit more because of the velocity. But if you stay in the middle of the plate, it'll catch up to you, as opposed to somebody that maybe is in the low 90. Another good pitch. That was change up again right on the corner. That grouping is terrific. Quick look at the EQC tracer. It looks really good. Another look at it in our Primera Supermo, and the changeup. Excellent location. A lot of movement on the changeup.
Back-to-back strikeouts, both looking.
But if pitchers in his changeup, 85, 86 miles an hour, is in that area with that kind of movement, even if you swing at it, you're probably just going to hit it on the ground.
Ball one to Simeon. Two and one.
And there's a big difference too with that fastball behind in the count. Can't just throw the fastball in the middle of the plate. That is right on the outside corner at 88 with some movement. Probably just started off the corner and ran back for a strike, but a quality strike to get back into the count. He's really mixing it up. Good breaking ball right there. Looked like a curveball. 79 miles an hour. And Felix also a slider.
Felix is 2-2.
Oh boy.
That was close. Felix looking to strike out the side. Weak dribbler foul. And for Simeon, that single back in the first extends his on-base streak to now 15 games. Every game this year for the A's. We've seen him lead off for Oakland today, batting second. Felix's payoff. Got him swinging. The King strikes out the A's in order at the top of the third. Join us in Denver this summer, July 12th to the 16th for a Rocky Mountain baseball adventure. It's a memorable road trip experience that's fun for the entire family as the Mariners meet with the Rockies. For more information, visit mariners.com/vacations or call 800-892-7687. Right over the heart of the plate for strike one to Taylor Motter. Amanaya, a 9-pitch second inning. Off to a quick start here. Simeon's throw to first base, one down. That brings up Mike Margema. If you want to talk about some Mariners players looking like they're having as much fun as little leaguers this year, say Exhibit A would be Daniel Vogelbach last night rounding the bases, and Exhibit B would be Mike Margema, Mike, on opening day, when all of a sudden, surprise, you're in there and you're catching Felix on what was a thrilling ball game. Obviously a sold-out crowd here at Safeco Field.
Kings Court. Felix was terrific.
And Mike, post-game on the field, talking in a post-game interview, was about as wired as they come, and you can understand every bit of the reason why. And he said, credit for Mike to being able to process this so quickly, but I mean, he said in that time, in that moment, that he said, for my entire baseball career, this right now is the highlight of it, and you can understand why.
Yes, absolutely. The battle in spring training made the club out of camp. Didn't expect to play an opening day, and last minute Mike Zunino ends up going on the disabled list, so he had to catch Felix in the opener. Obviously a packed house, and sure a few butterflies for him.
Yeah, he was hoping just to be on the bench for opening day, let alone to be up behind home plate.
It's interesting for me that talk about Daniel Vogelbach, and a couple of games ago when he hit his first major league home run, and obviously excited about that, and it was nice to congratulate him on that home run. But then the one that he hit last night above the glass out there in right field, hit it here cafe. And I thought that the best part about it was the reaction of the guys in the dugout, the high fives and all that, and he was obviously excited about it, which was great to see. But he almost hit the target out there. You can see at the top of it, he ended up breaking a piece of the sign. But I thought when you see the reaction of Nelson Cruz and Mike Zunino and guys that hit some long home runs themselves, pretty great reaction and a good at bat from Margman to work a walk. Second base runner for the Mariners. That was a lot of fun.
Well, legend has it, legends are not normally born during sim games. But last year, Felix was throwing a sim game here at Safeco Field. Daniel Vogelbach was up at the club, and he was one of the hitters in that sim game. I think Daniel would be the first to say that last year he had a very much opposite field approach to things. We were not seeing him turn and pull pitches like he's doing now, obviously, last night. And during that sim game that Felix was pitching, Vogelbach turned on a pitch from Felix and hit it into the open air area of the Hit It Here Cafe, just off to the left of it. And it was so impressive, especially coming from a guy who at the time had, I don't know, a dozen big league at bats, roughly speaking, that the sim game stopped. And Scott Service is saying, who's this guy? Well, we saw a little bit of that last night. One out, one on for D. Gordon.
We'll have to check on it. I was talking to Dan Wilson today and trying to remember hitting a ball into the upper deck in right field. Not counting when the All-Star game was here and they had home run derby. There were a lot of baseballs that went up in that area, but Mo Vaughn is the one that we came up with. And I'm not sure if anybody else has ever hit one up there, and he was pretty close last night.
Bunt, drop, but foul. He looking to extend his 12-game hitting streak.
We'll take a look at it. If this had stayed on the line, it would have been an easy base hit for him.
Margman at first runs well. Down towards the court. It's the 1-2.
Mentioned the breeze here at the ballpark earlier, and causing some problems for D. Gordon.
Another 1-2. Now for D, we see him wearing number 9 these days. And if you go back to his time of the minor leagues, he actually wore number 5, which happened to be the number that Jackie Robinson wore with the Kansas City Monarchs. And as it turns out, number 9, the number that Jackie wore when he was in AAA before making it to the big leagues. one thing that's fascinating when you think about the number 42 and where it relates to big league history is he continues to have something in his eye. There is no photo evidence, Mike, of what number Jackie Robinson wore for the UCLA baseball team.
Really?
Four-sport athlete in college.
Yeah.
No one knows. That was another one back. The only
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. UCLA does not know.
Really?
There are photos of Jackie, of course, in a Bruins baseball uniform, but the photos that they have are essentially a team photo where you just see the front of the jersey and there's no number there.
Huh.
Two and two.
And this will be the 10th pitch in this at bat. Segura waiting on deck. Still having issues out there.
Lost the bat. 2 outs. Orange Estates put it first. Well, this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. Second strikeout for Minaya. Here is Segura. Of course, Mariano Rivera was the last to wear number 42. He was grandfathered in. Our own Dave Henderson wore number 42. Oh, and 2. And it all starting with a phone call from Ken Griffey Jr. to Bud Selig. His home phone.
It was pretty neat to listen to Bud Selig talk about that. Junior calling him at home.
I don't know, Mike. That seems like not a number that most ball players would have.
I would say that is true, but once again, 24 was not most ball players. One of the best ever.
A little bit of an exception there.
Yeah.
Griffey making the phone call to ask if he could wear number 42 on the anniversary on April the 15th. Strike 3 call. Back-to-back strikeouts to end the Mariners' third. We go to the fourth. Mariners down 2. The third for the King, Felix Hernandez. Facing Bruce Maxwell, getting him looking. Then on to Matt Joyce. And then finally, Marcus Semien striking out the sign in order. 4 strikeouts through 3 for the King. He's punched out 4 of the last 5 hitters now.
We talked about Manaea has really pitched well so far this year, so Felix is going to have to keep the score right there. Well, the offense can either get Manaea's pitch count up and get him out of the ball game or scratch a few runs out.
Now strike 1 to Lowry, who had the 2-run blast off of Felix back in the first. Lowry entering this game tied to the majors for the most hits of any big leaguer. Andrelton Simmons right there at the top of the leaderboard. Haniger has space this time right in front of the track. One out for Chris Davis. Well, Tuesday against the Astros, it is Bark at the Park night right here at Safeco Field. Only $50. You and man's best friend will receive tickets to the game, a Mariners giveaway, and the chance to walk around the bases post-game. Visit mariners.com/Bark for tickets. Yes, a ticket for you and a ticket for your dog. Hopefully your dog fits in the seat. Davis going after the first pitch. So help Felix out. 3 pitches and 2 outs here in the 4th. Here is Matt Olson. Olson smoked one out to center field to end the first inning, squared it up, but it was caught by Gordon. They have the shift on for him. Showing bunt. To left, Heredia quickly picking up speed in front of the track, calls it in.
Nice inning.
5 pitches, 3 outs, and the King has retired the last 11 A's hitters in a row. Seattle Mariners baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Safeco Insurance. Find a local agent at Safeco.com. Do more. By Amtrak Cascades. What a beautiful way to travel. Visit AmtrakCascades.com. And by Steel. To find your local Steel dealer, visit SteelDealers.com. Hey, the sun out just enough. The roof is open for the first time this series. The Mariners looking to come from behind for a series sweep today against the Oakland A's.
Well, second time through the lineup, they've yet to pick up a base hit. He always gave up the 2-run home run in the first, but he's retired 11 in a row since then. He's looking for a little bit of run support.
Cano holds back. They appeal.
Robbie with another walk, his first time up. He has reached base in every game.
His longest on-base streak to begin a season. The 1-1. 2 balls and a strike to Cano.
We were talking about it earlier with Minaya and how often he has pitched against the Mariners in his brief career so far. And a couple things. One, obviously much better command of the strike zone. I remember his velocity. He seemed to be more at 94, 95 range and wild with it. It looks like if he's maybe just kind of 3/4 in the fastball up there with better command. There's a slider.
You're right. His average fastball at almost exactly 90 miles an hour this year.
Yeah. His velocity is down, but the command is much better.
On Jackie Robinson Day, the Mariners 9-5. Felix pitching for the first time on Jackie Robinson Day today. And Robbie's put up some pretty decent numbers on April the 15th each season. 18 different Mariners have worn number 42 before that number was officially retired by Major League Baseball. I mentioned Dave Henderson, one of them. Nelson Cruz on the first pitch. Just got underneath it. Semien all the way out in Joyce's territory. The shortstop makes a catch. 2 up, 2 down for Kyle Seager. Semien all over the place now, moving over into the shift. At the very point of it. Now Seager on base 4 times last night, including a home run, his 3rd this year. Slicing out to the gap in left center for a base hit. Fielded by Canna. Seager is aboard. Mariners pick up their first base hit today here in the 4th.
Really good swing from Kyle on a fastball. Middle in, inside out swing, slicing line drive up towards left center field. Darren mentioned Kyle has been hot. Came into the game hitting .304 overall, 3 home runs. Second on the team in RBIs with 11. And with that base hit, one of the hot hitters walking to the plate, Mitch Haniger.
Haniger's 15 RBIs are tied for the major league lead. In fact, 9 RBIs the last 4 games for Haniger. You see the leaderboard in the American League. He's homered in back-to-back games. Line drive. Semien almost takes his glove off. Gonna ice down that hand. We played 4. A's have the lead. roof beginning to close. Mike, it was a shaky first inning for Felix. Some loud outs in that 2-run homer, but he has been rock solid since.
He has been, and he's really done a nice job of mixing it up today. We've seen his curveball and his changeup, mixing in his slider a little bit more. And with that, his fastball command has been much better. He's retired the last 11 batters in a row.
We go down to the Ford Sports Desk. We bring in Bill Kruger. Bill, what have you made so far today of Felix through 4+ innings?
I think it looks really sharp. I think you kind of touched on it, Mike. The last 11 batters in a row, 8 first pitch strikes. It's almost the 3-0 cripple to Lowry right after the confusion around the balk that wasn't the balk. Could have taken a little bit of his concentration away, but boy, since then the resolve has been there and the mix has been special. I mean, he's used his sinker on both sides. His changeup is good. He's got them off balance. Right when they're thinking he's going to bust him in, he throws a changeup. If he's not, if they're thinking changeup, he's busting him in. I mean, it's a really nice mix that he's featuring right now.
And Bill, I think that one of the things that'll be a real key for him, and we talk a lot about fastball command, and that, as I've said many times, is true for almost every pitcher that's out there, unless you have something really special like Edwin Diaz fastball. But for Felix, the one thing, even in that at bat right there, falling behind 2-0, gets back in the count by throwing the breaking ball and not giving in to just throwing the fastball in the middle. I think that's something we're going to see him do more and more as the season moves on.
Yeah, he's going to be a lot more contrarian. He's going to pitch. You watch Mike Leake do it. He does it his whole career. But you're going to see that. You're going to see an off-speed pitch and a fastball count. You're going to see just the opposite. When people think he's going to throw a breaking ball, he's going to be a fastball. I mean, he's got that kind of talent, and everything builds around fastball command. That's where he's really got to be good, because it used to be that people swung early because they didn't want to have to try to hit the changeup. So his command didn't have to be perfect. And now command becomes much more important, and he needs to set the hook a little bit deeper before he goes to his off-speed pitches, which he's done very well since the home run.
And Bill, can you just talk about it, and not just for Felix, but just in general, when you see pitchers that are power pitchers early in their career and then they're trying to make the adjustment, I know that a lot of people think that that should be an easy thing, and as you mentioned, Felix is special. He can spin the baseball with the best of them, but it's not always as easy as people may think. One, using those pitches early in counts to get strikes and not trying to wipe batters out every time. But two, the overall command of it and pitching on both sides of the plate.
Yeah, it becomes much more the art. Hitter profile becomes more important. Pitch sequencing becomes more important. You have to think a couple pitches ahead. You know, Felix had such ultimate weaponry. It was kind of like whatever fingers you put down, they were going to be tough to hit. And now it's changed a little bit for him, but he's always, the thing is, a lot of guys that dominate are dominant pitchers because of the big fastball upstairs, and that's never been him. He's always pitched at the bottom of the strike zone. He's always been gifted with movement. So these are things that are going to work in his advantage. A guy, you know, I try to think of somebody like Mike Mussina. Mike Mussina was a guy that continued his career for a very long time by learning how to do what Felix is going through right now. And there's no reason why this guy can't be really, really good for a long period of time if he just commits himself to what he's doing right now.
Now, Bill, thank you as always. We'll hear more from Bill coming up on Mariners postgame, presented by Alaska Airlines. This is inside. Canna has already seen more pitches here in this at-bat than the A's saw in the fourth. 5-pitch, fourth inning for Felix. The 3-2. Got him swinging. 5 strikeouts for Felix.
And we'll take a look at it. Primera Supermo. This is the changeup again. As Bill was just talking about, down out of the strike zone. That's where he's made his living. You can just see the bottom fall out of that. Tremendous downward movement on that pitch. When it comes out of his hand, it looks like it's a fastball. It looks like it's going to be at the knees or maybe even just above it. And as a hitter, you're going to commit to it. Picks up a strikeout. It's a good breaking ball. Nice curveball from Felix.
Strike one up to Scotty. And on the hands that time, 0-2. Felix already with the season best 5 strikeouts. The Kings 0-2. Foul ball. Another 0-2. Today, Felix's 47th career start against the A's, a career .260 earned run average against Oakland. Another 0-2, and it gets him.
Tried to quick pitch him, rushed his delivery a little bit and ended up hitting him. He hit him with a changeup.
That Staff's 13 in a row sat down by Felix, and it comes with an 0-2 count.
You can see him just rush his delivery, trying to surprise him a little bit. But unfortunately, the changeup gets away from 80 miles an hour.
And steps Maxwell, the catcher. Strike one. Now hustling back over his head. Piscotty motoring into third base. Here comes a throw home, and Piscotty's got a hold up there, right on the target to home. Maxwell to second. 2-out double.
Looked like it was a pretty good pitch on the inside corner. You look at the swing by Maxwell. It is on the inside corner. He just drops the barrel to it. I think that fooled Anninger a little bit. Looked as if he froze or started in. Not sure he would have been able to get back in time, but a great relay. He hits the relay man in Cano, and a great throw all the way to home on the fly.
Pitch missing to Joyce. So now 2 in scoring position for the A's. Almost counting with 2 outs. The hit batter and the double. Back to Felix. And runner stranded at second and third. Onto the bottom of the 5th. 2-0 A's. Seattle Mariners baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by CHI Franciscan Health, the Mariners' official partner in health. Get your guide to living Northwest healthy at nwhealthy.org/Mariners. Now the roof now just closed here inside Safeco Field. Make our way to the bottom of the fifth. A's have the only 2 runs of the day. And for the Mariners, the bottom third due up. Heredia, Mater, and Marjama. Manaea so far just 1 hit over the first 4 innings. That was a Seager single the opposite way. The Mariners entering today having now won 4 in a row, 5 of their last 6. Chance for a sweep today. At the very worst, they've already secured a series win against Oakland. And that series win marks their 3rd. Yet to lose a series. Have that series split in 2 games in San Francisco, and I guess you can call that series pending against the Twins. That'll be made up in May. The 2-2. Semien charges thigh high. 1 out. Ride the Link Light Rail for free now through June 3rd. Show your game ticket for a free round-trip ride to Safeco Field, courtesy of the Mariners. Save both time and money by taking the train to the game. For details, just check out mariners.com/go. Mike, obviously weather has been such a theme around baseball, not just the Mariners, as you can tell. Taylor Mater digging in. And if you look at it, today marks the, if you want to be exact, the 18th day of the baseball season, and we have had only 3 days, Mike, where all 30 teams have gotten a game in, and today is another day where they haven't.
A lot of them today. And chuckled a little bit when you said that the Mariners will make that game up in May. Let's hope they do.
Mater cracked out to left. Mater leaving the yard, first time this year. It's the Mariners on the board.
Taylor Mater, as Aaron mentioned, his first home run, taking advantage of a fastball at 88 right in the middle of the plate. We'll get some home runs on this homestand.
First pitch to Marjama.
Take another look at the swing by Taylor. Saw this a lot early last year. Pulled the ball a lot and hit a number of home runs for the Mariners. For Manaea, basically going with the scouting report. When he's fallen behind, you'll get the fastball about 70% of the time to the right-handed hitters using his changeup. Lefties are seeing the slider more. And again, his fastball 88 to 90.
Hit right by the line. Chapman low to first base. Taken there by Olsen. 2 outs. Two outs, a run in. Here comes D. Gordon.
D 0 for 2. Came into the game with a 12-game hitting streak. leads the majors, by the way, with 7 stolen bases.
Think about D spending his career in the National League before this year. A lot of people talk about the fastest guy in the game. A lot of people immediately think of Billy Hamilton. I think it says something that Billy has stolen no fewer than 50 bases a year since coming to the big leagues on a full-time basis, and he has never led the National League. And this man we're looking at right here is a big reason why. Ahead 3-0.
Heard you talking about it last night, Aaron, on the post-game show. Jerry DiPoto obviously making the deal to get D. Gordon over here. And then last year also Segura and Haniger. Yeah, a third of your lineup, and they are really, really important to what they're doing right now. When you talk about being younger and a lot of speed, being Segura, Mitch runs well. And what they've done in this lineup here at the start of this year has been impressive.
Well, we still don't really have a full idea as to what the ceiling for Mitch Haniger is.
Right, because of injury last year, hurt a couple of times.
But we like what we've seen so far.
We obviously can tell that there's a lot of talent
for
there.
Sure. The 3-2. Saws him off. Olsen with a sliding pop-up catch. That ends the 5th. Mariners are on the board, though, thanks to this swing from Taylor Motter, #1 on the season. 2-1 Oakland. Voice heard. Nominate your favorite plays of the week by tweeting us using the hashtag #RootFanFave. Watch the Mariners pregame show every Sunday to find out the top 5 fan favorite plays of the week. Plus, each month, one lucky fan will win a Coors Light Yeti cooler just for participating. Official rules can be found at rootsports.com. First hair flip of the year from Taylor Motter. Here's Marcus Semien. A single that scored today.
And for Felix, 75 pitches at the start of the inning. 49 strikes. Some good shape there. Felix will try to work his way through the lineup for the 3rd time.
center and dropping quickly in front of D. Gordon. Simeon's second hit today. You think about it for Felix, today is he's approaching almost 50 starts against the A's. And one of my favorite anecdotes about Bob Melvin and the Oakland A's a couple of years ago, I'm talking with Bob about Felix. Bob said in so many words, well, you know, then he's got that splitter or that changeup or whatever that thing is. I mean, he's seen Felix time and time again from the dugout steps, and even with that vantage point and so many times a year watching Felix pitch against the A's, you still can't quite describe that changeup.
Well, that is something as we move around the American League and now with interleague play, the National League, other analysts will ask me about it and they're not sure what it is, which is funny because, you know, you always can see the circle change grip that Felix is throwing the pitch from. So there's video evidence. There it is. It's a changeup. But then you see the velocity and the downward movement of that pitch, and it looks like a split. It's nobody else has thrown the changeup like he has, especially when there hasn't been as much of the separation between his fastball and the changeup. That is more of what people would do with a split. But it goes back to Mel Stottlemyre talking to him this spring. And talking to him about Felix, and Felix trying to get him to use his curveball more, and it's something that Felix even talked about 2 years ago. Unfortunately, Felix was hurt last year. But Mel talking about his ability to spin the baseball, move the baseball around, all the different things that we've seen Felix do for years. It's fascinating, really, when you think about it, just the amount of talent that he has. But you're right. There are still people that refuse to call it a changeup just because of the way the hitters react and the way the pitch comes out of his hand.
I feel like pitch trackers in the very early days had a really hard time classifying
They did.
that.
They weren't
and they classified it as a splitter a lot of times.
Sometimes they would call it a two-seam fastball.
Well, that's wrong.
That is wrong. But it was because of the velocity that was on it.
89 miles an hour.
Yeah, and you know, and it would have some movement moving away, and yeah, cause a lot of problems.
Sure.
Yeah.
The 1-2. He goes. Lowry can't believe it. That's strikeout number 6 for Felix. You can hear him say you can't see the pitch and the swing. He was hoping that Scott Berry would ask for help.
Thought he made the call right away. Take a look at the Primera Supermo. This again is the changeup down out of the strike zone, gets him to chase it. Take another look at it. Play by Mike Margema. Keep the ball in front of him.
1 out, 1 on for Chris Davis. With that home run for Davis last night, now more home runs than Giancarlo Stanton since the start of 2016 when he came from Milwaukee to Oakland. Cano racing over. Robbie working on that UZR out number 2. Well, from around the league, time for Snoqualmie Casino Around the League scoreboard update. A number of postponements as we were talking about. And interleague play, Phillies all over the Rays, and the Red Sox, my goodness, off to a 13-2 start. Their rotation has been out of this world as they take down the Orioles 3-1. And what looked like an absolutely miserable day. It was 34 degrees and cloudy from Fenway Park. For Sale, 8 strikeouts in that one. And tomorrow's game at Fenway already postponed because of weather. Two outs for Olsen.
I mentioned Mel Stottlemyre. The other things that he wanted to see more from Felix was the curveball, and we've seen that this afternoon. He's thrown his curveball more than his changeup this year coming into this start. And that's a good way to start a hitter off right there with the curveball. We'll take it for a strike. Breaking ball right there.
Felix approaching his season high pitch count, 91. That was his last start against the Royals. At one point today, Felix retiring 13 in a row.
Oh, yeah. 2-2. Gets back into the count with the curveball again.
Felix is 2-2. Another curve.
Well, that's the difference, though, for Felix. The first two curveballs that he was throwing, but he was having to throw them for a strike. The first pitch of the at bat, and then falling behind 2-1 to get back in the count. That one, he wanted it to be down out of the strike zone, hoping that he would swing over the top of it. Chapman waiting on deck.
The payoff. 7th strikeout for Felix. He's fired up. His best start of the season. Heritage Distilling BSB Brown Sugar Bourbon. You can't spell baseball without BSB. Mariners a run away from time. Segura leads it off. Gino for 2 today. Mariners run coming on Motter's homer in the 5th. towards left center. Canna has space around number 1. One up, one down for Cano.
It's great to see Felix get through the 6th inning. 91 pitches for him now. Back-to-back curveballs to get the strikeout. Right now he's just hoping for a couple of runs.
That's what Cano can do here. He was walked and grounded out today. Looks at strike 1. Simeon swings over on the first base side of second for out number 2. I'll take a 9-inning lunch break to catch Mariners baseball as the boys in blue square off with the World Series champion Houston Astros on Thursday at 12:40. Head over to Mariners.com to reserve your seat now. Our first Mariners matinee of the year. That'll be the final game of the homestand. Hope to see you here at Safeco Field. Big 4-game series beginning tomorrow. 2 outs for Nelson Cruz. Mariners 1 swing away from tying this one up. Line drive sinking quickly. Simeon gobbles it up. And a very efficient bottom of the 6th for Sean Manaea. We go to the 7th. Felix coming back out. Good stuff today from Felix facing the A's. He is back out to work the 7th, which is nice to say, Mike.
91 pitches. That ties his season high so far, but he really has been in command. We talked about it, struggled a little bit, was hurt on the 3-0 fastball. Lowry back in the 1st inning, the 2-run home run. Outside of that, they've only had one other runner in scoring position. The A's are 0 for 1 runners in scoring position this afternoon.
Pitch misses low to Matt Chapman. If you go back to 2009 to a high school called El Toro High in Southern California, Chapman was the backup shortstop. The starting shortstop was a senior named Nolan Arenado. Of course, Arenado has become one of the premier third basemen of the league, and Chapman's on his way to being in the top tier as well.
Something again that we've seen throughout the game. Felix falling behind, just missing with a couple of pitches, but back into the count with a breaking ball, not giving in to the hitter. By the way, speaking of Arenado, did you see what his suspension was for charging the mound?
Was it 5 games, 6 games?
I don't know.
It was something in that neighborhood. That comes in, gets a bite out of Chapman. Second hit batter today for Felix. Right now we'll go down to the Ford Sports desk and check in with Tom. What's happening, Tom?
Aaron, thanks so much. Here's what's happening. I don't know about you, but I am always looking for a sweet deal. And here's a deal Mariners fans are certainly going to love. The M's have introduced several new value offerings and concessions, merchandise, and tickets this season. One example, BECU value games, view level and bleacher seats, $15, while main and club level seats just $30. The next 3 nights, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all value games against Houston. Sweet deal. For more information, visit mariners.com/value.
Absolutely good stuff there. Thank you, Tom. Canna flies out to left. Bradford and Passos getting loose inside the Mariners bullpen. Bradford really strong last night, an inning and 2/3 scoreless. One out, one on. Here is Piscotty. Through the left side, base hit. Chapman into second. Piscotty aboard for the second time. And the clock starting to tick on Felix.
Felix now at 97 pitches. Here's a season high for him. Service out of the dugout.
That will be it for the King today. His 4th start of the year and his first start at Safeco Field since opening day. His best start of the season, working into the 7th. 7 strikeouts, 2 runs, responsible for 2 men on base. The 2 men aboard. 6 1/3 innings for the King here today. Close ball game, 2-1. We take a look at his final line, Mike.
Just 5 hits, couple of runs they were earned. That came back in the first inning. Again, didn't walk anybody. 7 strikeouts for Felix. 97 pitches, 61 of those for strikes. They really pitched well today.
Our Beacon Plumbing call to the pen as we take a look at James Pazos.
For Pazos, his fastball at 94 miles an hour this year. He'll touch 95, 96 slider to go along with it. This is just his 4th appearance. Only 3 innings of work so far, but 5 strikeouts for him.
His first time this year inheriting any runners. He has Chapman at second, Piscotty at first, Maxwell at the plate. On the first pitch, a chance for two. On to first, plenty of time, and out of the jam. James Pazos, one pitch, 2 outs, and it's time to stretch. We'll keep it right here for God Bless America.
Just take two. It takes two, baby. It takes two, baby.
Taking out to the ball game here on Sunday, we ask that you please rise and direct your attention to the area near home plate. To present God Bless America, please welcome from Seattle, Tess Oltiveros.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Take me out to play Washington's lottery. Mariners down by just a run as we make our way to the bottom of the 7th. Mariners will send up Seager, Haniger, and Heredia here on Jackie Robinson Day.
Kyle with a base hit his last time up, 1 for 2.
And we mentioned how earlier this season Corey Seager homered off of Minaya, the only lefty to homer off the southpaw so far this year. Minaya has been very tough regardless on which side of the plate you swing from. Seager out to center field for round number 1. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live at home, in the office, or on the go with MLB.tv. Your subscription includes MLB At-Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Just check out MLB.tv for details. And Minaya has thrown 7 pitches to get the last 4 outs. And on the day following a 17-hit night for the Mariners, it's been tough to come by. Only 2 hits for the Mariners today. Seager a single, Monter the homer.
Haniger hit the ball hard his last time up. It's 0 for 2, grounded out to short, but last time lined out to the shortstop.
High the opposite way. Haniger just in front of the fence where Piscotty finds it.
Pitch with a home run to right last night, just missing one.
That brings up Heredia. And you bring up that line drive out as we go back and look at the swing for Mitch. That's the first time I can remember talking about that line drive out to Simeon to end the 4th inning. I've never seen a big leaguer take his glove off and shake his hand immediately after making a catch. I mean, that ball was
Ice it down after the game.
Yes, that ball was smoked to short, and normally most guys would play it off pretty cool, but Simeon showed his cards a little bit. Can't say that we blame him.
Juan Nicasio getting loose in the pen for the Mariners.
Inside chasing Bradford. The 0-2. Side retired in order for the 2nd straight inning. Mariners having a hard time against Minaya. We go to the 8th. By a run. I'll be sure to stick around after this one's over with. We'll have Mariners postgame presented by Alaska Airlines. Taylor Motter going deep for the first time this season. Maybe have a chance to hear from Scott about the balk that wasn't a balk. Pazos back out there. 1 pitch to get 2 outs to get the Mariners out of the 7th. And also officially closed the book on Felix. 2 runs, 5 hits, 6 1/3. Best start of the season for the King.
That's one of the things that Scott will talk about after the game, and thought Felix was really good today.
Left on left, here is Joyce.
Watch the ball, not the batter, out. Come on.
I mentioned it for Felix, just the bad draw today. The Mariners scoring 17 runs in the first 2 games, and today they have 1 run on 2 hits. Quite get the run support he was looking for.
Say what else from the A's perspective, this has been a frustrating road trip. It's a 3-city trip that wraps up today. They're 2-5 on the trip. They've hit 16 home runs in 7 games, and they're averaging just over 6 runs a contest. And they have only 2 wins to show for it. Watch out, my goodness.
A couple of breaking balls. Missed with the first one, that almost hit him, and then hits him with the second. Scott Service out of the dugout. Third A that has been hit today. Felix hit a couple of batters, and then this one again with a breaking ball.
This brings on a pitching change. Will step aside. Seattle Mariners baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Jack in the Box. This season, a Mariners double play means free jumbo jacks from Jack in the Box. By BNSF, sponsor of the BNSF Blast. By CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. And by Money Tree, proud to make a donation to Mariners Care for every Mariners win. Well, some sun earlier, but cloud cover now. The roof closed, and a new pitcher, Chasen Bradford, pitching on back-to-back days.
Fastball, slider, changeup. His average fastball at 91 miles an hour. This will be his 3rd appearance. Has yet to give up an earned run. Hasn't given up a hit. 4 2/3, 3 strikeouts, a couple of walks.
Pitch to Simeon, showing bunt.
Kyle Seager even with the bag at 3rd.
An eye on Matt Joyce, who's hit by a pitch. Foul ground. Motter back a couple of steps. 1 out. Brings up Jed Lowry.
Fastball. They wanted it away, but it's going in at middle end. Late swing. First pitch he had shown bunt. Ended up taking it off.
Lowry has homered today. Bats with 1 out and 1 on. Motter, nobody at first. Lowry aboard.
And a pretty good play by Bradford.
Infield base hit, Jed Lowry.
Yeah, this is a little bit of inexperience. Taylor not typically going to play first base. I think better off you just let Robbie field it. You can see Cano standing right there.
What's the line from Moneyball, Mike? First base is easy, isn't it? Nope. It's incredibly difficult. Just stand there and catch the ball. 1 out, 2 on. Here is Chris Davis.
See if Bradford can get a double play.
Mariners got one to end the 7th. Love another here to end the 8th. Into left field. Joyce round to the bag. Heredia's throw gets him back. We've seen a couple of plays, a couple of throws to home that have kept runners at third today.
With Heredia, it's no longer a secret. He's a plus outfielder with a very strong arm. Let's take a look at the Primera Supermo and the base hit by Davis. Like Guillermo, a great throwing arm in the outfield. Stottlemyre making a visit.
Well, tomorrow our broadcast begins at 6:30. First of 4, the Mariners and the Astros. Two teams meeting for the first time this year. Start number 4 for both southpaws, Keuchel and of course James Paxton. Should be a lot of fun. Should be a big series for the Mariners. Astros, one of the best teams in baseball right now. And there's no easy draw when you face the Astros rotation, that's for sure. The bases loaded up here for Olsen.
Hey, ground ball right here.
2-0. Take a look at the base runners. The green, yellow, and red. You know, this is what Sparky Anderson used to look at, Mike, when he was managing. If it's caught in the red area, probability of scoring on a sacrifice fly next to nothing. Of course, it increases as you get to the green. Based on Joyce's speed at third base and the arm strength for each outfielder. Heredia, Gordon, Haniger. Two and two.
Just challenged him a couple of fastballs to get back in the count. We were talking about it yesterday, Aaron, with the way he has his hands out over home plate. Seems like they tried to elevate the fastball to him as much as possible.
The 2-2.
Another high fastball right at the top of the strike zone.
exactly what he needed. Olsen, a guy with enormous pop, and the Mariners have really been able to limit him this series.
Again, it's been the high fastball.
Young third baseman Matt Chapman, bases still loaded, 2 outs. Joyce at third base, Lowry at second, Davis the runner at first. Bradford trying to keep this game close.
So far 1 for 4 with runners in scoring position, so not many opportunities for him.
The 1-0. Line drive left field. Heredia closes and makes the catch. Jason Bradford leaves them loaded. Onto the bottom of the 8th. Mariners down just a run. Well, coming up on the next Mariners homestand in May, we will see two-way star for the Angels, Shohei Ohtani. A lot of people referring to Ohtani as the modern-day Babe Ruth. And on this day where we honor Jackie Robinson breaking the color barrier, we showcase some two-way players from the Negro Leagues. Bullet Joe Rogan, 19 seasons with the Kansas City Monarchs, hit .338, fourth best mark all-time in Negro League history. He also started 132 games. Pretty incredible. Inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1998. Martin Diago debuted with the Cuban Stars of the Eastern Colored League in 1923. He won 26 games as a pitcher, tossing over 350 innings. Also threw the first no-hitter in Mexican League history. It was a .307 hitter at the plate. He was inducted into Cooperstown in '97. Buchter, the new pitcher, fires a strike.
Fastball, curveball. His average fastball at 92 miles an hour. Ninth appearance for him, 2.35 ER.
Olsen at first base. One down. Now this maybe will turn out to be the best thing that can happen to the Mariners, getting Minaya out of there. Well, he could not get much going against him. Just that Seager single, the Motter homer. First offering to Margema. Roll a strike to make it 1-1.
All day. Yeah. Give me a break. Put your head to the other side. Somewhere.
Inside to make it 3-1. Now the big bats for the Mariners are just around the corner. D. Gordon, Gene Segura, Robinson, Cano.
Three-one count. He should get a fastball to hit. His fastball's been 92, 93. He throws his fastball about 80% of the time.
Pushes full.
And it was the fastball 93. It was in the middle of the plate, but at the knees. Nick Benson getting loose in the Mariner pen.
Three-two to Marchima. And he's aboard. He walks for the second time.
Trying to line up over, be the fourth time for D. Gordon.
Look at what Mania did today. He was fantastic.
He pitched well coming into this game, and nothing changed for him. He was really good. 7 innings, a couple of hits. Just the 1 earned run. That was the home run from Modern. 4 strikeouts, 89 pitches, 56 strikes overall. Andrew Romine going to pinch run for Mike Marchima at first.
Now D trying to lengthen that hitting streak to 13 games. Ball 1. By the tying run at first. A long hold.
Good fastball, right? Good fastball for him to hit 92, and it was right in the middle of the plate. Good pass at it.
Showing butt. Chapman with the glove to first. And time.
Wow, he thought he beat it. When Chapman decided to use his glove to field the bunt, I didn't think he had a chance. It was a strong throw and a very close play at first. Scott Servais holding things up. I think he wants to take a look at it. And we'll take a look at it. It's a perfect bunt. More times than not, you would see the third baseman barehand this, but he goes with his glove and gets rid of it quickly with a lot on the throw. That was really close. They're going to look at it. This is such a big play in the game. Wow. Almost handcuffed. Also looked like he hit the heel of his glove. Again, when the ball hits the back of the glove, I guess the bad news, Aaron, is that he was originally called out first. That's how close this is.
Well, all I know is this, Mike. The Gordon versus Chapman all season long will be fantastic to watch.
definitely will try him a number of times. It's one of those plays that was just well done all the way around. A nice bunt by D, and obviously hustling down the line. But Chapman, who was playing even with the bag, also made a nice play. They're going to call him out.
What an incredible play by Chapman at third.
And Bob Melvin now out of the dugout.
We'll step aside for a pitching change. Chapman able to throw out D. Gordon on a picture-perfect bunt. Another look.
I mean, it's just perfect.
Mike, you were a fantastic third baseman. Would you have ever considered going with the glove on a play like that?
No, and the other part about it too is with Chapman, as he was starting even with the bag, he started to sneak in a little bit, but I think in that situation I would be in front of the bag and definitely would have tried to barehand the play. We saw how close it was, and I think the difference really being that close was because of him using his glove. He has a strong throwing arm, and he was able to get rid of it quickly, but no, I think most third basemen again would barehand the ball, especially knowing that it's D running down the line. This would be a pretty good matchup right here. Blake Trinan faces Segura. He has a good fastball, his average fastball, 97 miles an hour, slider, and an occasional cutter.
First at 97 for a strike.
This will be his 5th appearance on the year. Hasn't given up an earned run. 7 strikeouts in the 6 innings. Let's get up one home run.
To center, Cannon. On a ground to his left. To end the inning, Romine left stranded at second. And what could have been, we go to the 9th.
Sports Desk, time for hashtag Where I Root, presented by Alaska Airlines. Some of the fans cheering on the M's today, including Krista. Sundays are for Mariners games, and a little silliness into the mix as well. Brian, Brian got an Ichiro autograph today. Not quite sure that's technically a broom, but Brian, we get the point, young fella. Hope you had a great time. And Colin and company in the suite today, enjoying this game as they hope to see the Mariners come back and get a sweep of the A's. We got a new pitcher on the mound as we send it back upstairs to Aaron and Mike.
That's right. Thank you, Tom. Nick Vincent now up on the mound for the Mariners.
Nick, fastball at 90 miles an hour, cutter 87. David Freitas will take over behind the plate. Nick will also mix in a slider. Fastball, cutter, slider. Primary pitch is his cut fastball.
Vincent's 1-1, 1-2. The 1-2. Canada down on strikes.
Couple of fastballs at the top of the strike zone. Quick out for Nick Vincent.
In steps Piscotty, on base twice.
Nick really working at the top of the strike zone. Pretty good cutter right there. Weak wave at it.
And the Mariners' only run so far today, the home run by Taylor Motter. Meanwhile, the A's, their 2 runs coming on one swing, a home run by Jed Lowry way back in the first. Quick work of Piscotty.
Couple of strikeouts for Nick Vincent. Pitched him away, and then comes right back on the inside corner with a couple of strikes. I think it surprised him a little bit, but well located. And David Freitas doing the catching now. Pinch runner for marginal.
Missing for ball 1. The 2-1. Ball's behind 3-1.
Get a swing. You gotta help us here, huh? You gotta call it. It's up to you, baby.
Heredia in a few steps for a 1-2-3 ninth inning. Mariners down to their final 3 outs. Big bats coming up. Cano followed by Cruz and then Kyle Seager. Final 3 outs. A reminder to stick around after the game for Mariners postgame presented by Alaska Airlines. Angie and Bill hopefully talking about a Mariners walk-off win. Big boys coming up for the Mariners. Cano, Cruz, and Seager. Trinan stays up on the mound. Defensive replacement Jake Smolinski in center, taking over for Cannon. Cano to get things started for the Mariners in the bottom of the 9th.
0-1. For Trinan, 97 miles an hour with his fastball. You can slide it right there at 87.
First at bat against Trinan. To right field. Hanging up just enough for Piscotty. Hit it out of the screws, but it's out number 1. That brings up Nelly. We talked about his timing earlier, Mike. Squared up a pitch and flew out to center. Just got under one, popped up to short, and then on his last out, a 6-3 put out off the bat at 116 miles an hour.
Yeah, his timing is fine.
Yeah,
he squared the ball. They just missed a couple of pitches, but it wasn't because of timing.
Otter's homer has been it for the Mariners today. Came off of Sean Manaea, the starter for the A's, who was spectacular. 2 hits, 1 run over 7. Off speed again.
Yeah, a couple of sliders to him. Nelson tried to take a chance, I think, catch up to a fastball. Again, he has a good fastball at 97 miles an hour.
Won't bite this time. Today for Nelson, second game since coming off the disabled list, only his 4th game this year. In a moment.
It's been the 4th slider in a row. This for Trinan, trying to get ready for that fastball because it is a plus fastball. And seeing the slider is difficult, but he's located them in some tough locations for Nelson. Everything is down and away on the outside corner. He's not left one in the middle of the plate. And another slider.
Gets him.
In all sliders, 5 sliders to him. This one down out of the strike zone. Well located again. Did not want to make a mistake on the plate.
The last hope for the Mariners, Kyle Seager. Kyle owns one of 2 hits for the Mariners today. Time. There's the fastball. Seager facing a right-hander for the first time today. They have the shift on for him. Ahead 2-0.
See if he wants to challenge him.
The 2-0. Now the driver's seat. 3 balls and no strikes to Seager. Haniger on deck.
Kyle will have the green light to swing away. Did throw him the fastball, but it was off the plate, away from him.
Officially rally time here at Safeco Field. 2 outs. Bottom of the 9th inning, down a run. Checks the swing. Takes the strike.
Not a bad idea for Kyle. He was looking for a pitch middle to middle in and ended up on the outside corner.
The 3-1. Full count.
Off-speed pitch at 90 miles an hour.
Seventh pitch coming up. Another 3-2. Back to Trinan. That's your ball game. Mariners lose a one-run affair.
I thought Felix was really good today, and the bullpen for that matter. A's scoring both their runs in the first inning. Unfortunately for the Mariners, just the one run, the home run by Motter, and a couple of hits. So they'll try to get the offense going against pretty good Houston ball club.
So a series win nonetheless. Astros come to town tomorrow for the first of 4 from Safeco Field to finish up the homestand. Mariners postgame presented by Alaska Airlines. It starts right now. Bill, Angie, take it away.
All right, Aaron, thanks so much. Mariners trying to get their first sweep of the season against the Oakland A's. Doesn't happen. They still got the series win the last time they were able to sweep these Oakland A's. That was just last season here at Safeco Field. Bill, we've seen so much offensive production from this lineup, and today it was just difficult against a very tough pitcher in Sean Manaea.
Yeah, he came in with a really good resume this year. He's throwing a lot of strikes with a good changeup, and he was tough. Mariners couldn't sort him out after 17 runs and 27 hits the first 2 games of the series. Mariner bats went quiet, and Mariner pitching was good, but just not quite good enough.
Yeah, he had only walked a couple of guys in his 3 starts,
yes.
Walked several Mariners today. That gives you an idea of how patient they were against it. We've got more to get to, lots actually, here on Mariners post game. And we always talk about how this is a game of inches, and we saw that in a critical situation. D. Gordon lays down this bunt. How about the play by Chapman, though, to get him at first base? Didn't look like he got him from our review, but I guess we don't count. But that would have changed the inning dramatically. More to get to here on Mariners Postgame presented by Alaska Airlines.